Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. I'm Jenny and today we're doing a little nursery tour update here at the production greenhouse. A lot of things going on as always. One thing that's really happening right now, because of course, you know, we're in the middle, right in the middle of September. Yesterday, Sally came through with all of her rain, got almost 4 inches of rain. Praise the Lord, it was a nice steady rain, not all at once, so we didn't have any flooding or any kind of issues like that. We just got a good, really good soaking rain. So even though the nursery was closed because of all that rain, that does not mean that we get the day off. I know some people were like, oh, enjoy your day off. And it's like, yeah. So what we were doing, we were up here at the production greenhouse and we were potting up about 7,000 baby pansies. So as you know, Creekside Nursery here in Dallas, North Carolina is a grower and a retailer. So we grow our plants and then obviously we're a garden center, so we're open to the public and we sell them. So to give you a little idea of what it's like to grow pansies, and this is our first year growing pansies. So these will be ready, I think like late October into early November, which of course, remember, North Carolina, pansies are a great fall winter crop for us because it's cool, and so this is one of these few flowers that would be nice and green and flowering even in the winter for us. So this is what a baby pansy plug looks like. So there's about 288 of these guys in a tray. So they come to us in a tray like this with all these little squares in it, and so that is a pansy tray. This is what it looks like, and we pop them out and then we're putting them into these, what they call an 1801. So it's a tray, try to get here so you can kind of get an idea. This tray has 18 cells in it. So we're putting 2 pansy plugs per hole. So that way it just fills it out. You get a really nice, big, thick, heavy plant. You get your most bang for your buck on those. And of course you can buy them as a tray, or you can, these little guys come apart and you can rip them apart. You can buy the, you know, one at a time. So that's what's going on right now as far as the production side and different things that are going on. So we've got pansies everywhere. We will put them outside and let them grow outside. We didn't do it yesterday because we weren't sure, you know, with all that rain, and we didn't want to get them beat down. So pansies are up and growing and hopefully will be ready end of October, and we have all the colors, like all your classic colors, your whites, your yellows, your oranges, your, what else do we have? Purples, blues, the lavender mixes, like all of that. So we have all that. Now, to give you an update on the shrubs that we planted back in August, I guess it was, I think it was August. Late July, early August, I think. I don't know. Anyway, remember the video that we did showing you how we're potting up all those baby shrubs. So here is a little bit of an update. They are growing very well, both the ones here in the greenhouse and then the ones that are out on the shrub lot. They are loving life and doing fantastic. I wanted to go through a couple of them that you might think are really interesting and want to put into your landscape either this fall or in the early spring. So we have 3 of Proven Winners roses. These are their landscape roses, that Oh So Easy line. So they have a whole Oh So Easy line of landscape roses. They will be different mature sizes based on the color and the actual plant itself. One, I think, of my favorites is this Oh So Easy Lemon Zest. Look at this. I need my cameraman to focus here, please. All right, so Oh So Easy Lemon Zest. So it is a gorgeous, beautiful, very highly disease-resistant plant. And what's really cool about this is that the yellow flowers do not fade to white. A lot of times that can be an issue with yellow roses. These don't. They stay that beautiful, pure yellow. Let's see if I can get in here and zoom it up for you. We always try to give you that beautiful shot because I know y'all want to know all the information about it. Okay, Love lemon zest too, because it's that gorgeous buttery yellow, but it smells like a rose. Like, it is a beautiful rose. It smells like it. So all the details here for you on lemon zest. Hardy in zones 4 to 9. Again, give you all that information. Make sure you can see it well. Hardy in zones 4 to 9. Of course, roses love the sun. They do really well. This one's going to be a 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. So not a massive one, but a nice substantial size in your garden. Roses you want to prune in the springtime, like late winter, early spring, because they bloom on new growth. You want to cut them back, encourage new growth, new blooms, and these are all going to be continuous bloomers. So they're going to bloom from spring all the way through the summer. So summer to frost, they're going to be blooming, gorgeous ones. They will do well in a pot. So all of these are not going to be too massive, so you can put them in a pot. Next is, this is a really great one, the double pink. The Oh So Easy double pink on that. Again, it's going to be hardy in zones 5 to 9, so not quite as cold tolerant. And it's going to be a little bit smaller in its size. Now, all of these roses do have thorns on them. So it's not, every rose has its thorn, but it's not a horrible, thorn. You can handle it. It's not that big of a deal. But this is a great idea if you're looking for a little extra added security. They say plant these babies underneath a window. So let's see if I can get you a nice clear shot of that bloom. So you can see that it's different than the lemon zest because it is a double bloom and not just what they call a single bloom. Again, that really precious baby doll pink, really soft, just very lovely. The last one I want to show you is Urban Legend. Oh So Easy Urban Legend. It is a great red color, disease resistant, very fantastic. Again, back to hardy in zones 4 to 9. So there we go, hardy in zones 4 to 9, and it is going to be 2.5 to 3 feet tall and wide. So it's going to be a little bit bigger size. Again, you're still going to do all the same pruning and all that good jazz on that. But look at that great rose color. You want to look, talking about a pop of color, this one would be a fantastic one. Now, you might notice that this is a little long. So that we were talking about yesterday when we were up here potting these pansies has a lot to do with it being in the greenhouse, and so there is that sun protection from the plastic, and so this is what they're calling their stretching. So we need to come in here and prune them up a little bit to make them a little bit more compact. So you can tell that the Urban Legend is a little longer than, like, even the yellow was doing it, the lemon zest. The double pink is a little bit more compact. Now, a new, brand new to the market this coming spring, and if you're local, you can get this early because they're ready, they're here. There's a whole new series of hydrangeas from Proven Winners. This is Wee Bit Giddy. So it's a fun name, Wee Bit Giddy. This is going to be a great petite hydrangea. It will be pH, the color will be pH specific, meaning that you're going to get color variation based on the pH level of your soil. So hardy in zones 5 to 9, extremely versatile. And we have friends that watch us even in Canada, and they're like, we're a zone 5. So you're talking about from like Canada, parts of Canada, all the way down to, into parts of Florida, or zone 5, so I mean zone 9. So really, really versatile. What's great about this is it's a nice petite one. It's only 2 feet tall, but like 2.5 feet wide. So we'll get people to ask us all the time, can I put a hydrangea in a pot? This would be a fantastic one to put in a pot, a very large container, because it's not going to be this huge, massive size to it. It is a Macrophilia Hydrangea, which means, if you'll remember we did that Hydrangea 101 video, that means the Macrophilias, if you have to prune it, which you shouldn't really have to prune it a lot, is going to be right after it blooms. I do want to show you, let's see, Jerry, if the camera will zoom in on that picture. Can you see? He says, okay, just a little bit. So sorry. But there's a lot of great color variation on this. Gorgeous, traditional mop head blooms, really neat. And what's great about this, sorry, I go back and forth, sun to part shade. But because it's hardy in zones 5 to 9, with North Carolina being in zone 7B, it is nice and heat tolerant. I still would recommend, with it being a macrophilia, that you give it some afternoon shade. So if you're here in the south, you want to, if it can get an afternoon shade, then that would be perfect. Our northerner friends that are in those colder climates, you can do probably all day sun and be perfectly fine. It's just for us, it just gets to be, you know, a little rough. So we got these, remember, as quartz. Look at it, it is filling in these great 3-gallon containers, nice and full. Those, just a great vigorous grower. So there you go. And then the last one I want to show you today is one that I'm really excited about, because when I found out about it, this is just like the coolest plant ever. This is Temple of Bloom. I love these names, you know, Temple of Doom, you know, with, oh, what's his name? Indiana Jones. Yeah. So this is a very unique small tree, in fact. So it is a 7 sunflower. I'm going to give you the specs here. Zones 5 to 9. So it's going to be a small tree, kind of reminiscent of like a crepe myrtle, in a sense that it's going to have great foliage on it. You're going to get beautiful white blooms. Then they have these red bracts on them. Then you're going to have gorgeous fall color on it. In the winter, the bark is going to peel on these trees. Just really, really unique. 6 feet tall, 6 to 10 feet tall and wide. So you can kind of prune it like a crepe myrtle and then underplant it with other things in there. Because it's at hardy zones 5 to 9, this is going to be a sun to part shade. I think here in the south, of course, this is new for us, so we've not grown this like out in the landscape. We will definitely be adding one of these to the landscape. It should be fine in that full sun area. You really don't need to prune it. The pruning would just be like limbing it up from the bottom and keeping it that way. But our friend Laura over at Garden Answer just did a video, I think just the other day, about like some shrubs that give fantastic fall foliage, you know, fall color, and this was one of her top picks. So you can see that it has these nice big wide leaves on it. I'm trying to get in there so you can see it with the camera. Oh. Anyway, gorgeous. So again, this started out as a court. So of course, you know, to get it to the tree size, it's got some growing to do. But really, really excited about these. These will be really neat to add into, yeah, the bark will be really cool, because if you're a southerner and you have crepe myrtles, you know that there are certain crepe myrtles that they shed their bark, and that's part of their really neat, interesting look to them. So that's why I say this Temple of Bloom is going to be somewhat reminiscent of a crepe myrtle in that aspect. And if you can't grow crepe myrtle, this might, because you're too cool, this might be a great option for you, because again, it's really cold tolerant and hardy. So lots of options for you. But anyway, here's our little nursery update here at Creekside. The sun is coming out. It's going to be an absolutely glorious day. We are super excited because the weather looks like it's going to turn for a little bit. Like, we're talking about getting into the 40s on Sunday and Monday. So we are really excited about that. As always, thank you so much for your love and support. I love when people are telling us where they're from. So, you know, a couple of videos ago, I mentioned one group of people, and then all my European friends were like, hey, Jenny, we're here. Then this week, I've got people from India and Brazil and, oh my gosh, well, where else were some of the other places? Australia, all sorts of fantastic places. So no matter where you are in the world, thank you so much for supporting our channel. We deeply appreciate it. You are part of our family, and we just welcome you no matter where you are. Y'all have a fantastic day, and we will see y'all next time. Bye, friends.